Hello and welcome to another episode at the 4th edition of Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund presents Voyage Navigate 2017 powered by ET Now. The grand event was flagged off by a speech by the CEO of Birla Sun Life Asset Management Company, Mr. A. Balasubramanian.
I'm extremely happy to receive our esteemed guest and our valuable partners to the signature event of Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund. And this year, we are overwhelmed with the response from our partners. We have more than 1,200 attendants, and people are coming from 120 locations. I still remember in 2014 when we started, we had only 400 participants, and each year the participants have increased, given the fact that the event has added value to our partners like you. Through our investment voyage event, we have been able to take the lead in showcasing our capability of our team, our investment process, our commitment year after year. Since our first voyage, 2014, our overall AUM has moved from 81,000 crores to about 1,90,000 crores as of today. And our debt AUM has moved from about 68,000 crores, about 1,31,000 crores. Our equity AUM has moved from 12,000 crores, close to about 55,630 crores as of 31st March 2017. And PMS has also grown substantially during this period from 310 crores in the year 2014 to about 5,000 crores as of today. And similarly, our offshore assets have also grown from about 4,500 crores to about 13,000 crores, and the number of course keeps rising year after year. We ended the year with an all-time AUM high of about 1,80,000 crores in the month of March 2017, and that number today stands close to about 2 lakh crores plus. I can say with pride that we have more than 6 equity schemes with each size of greater than rupees 3,000 crores. We at Birla Sun Life AMC have stepped up the engagement with the market participants in our drive to expand the customer base and build a strong retail franchisee. And some of the key engagements where you all might have participated through this last 4 or 5 years period: regional investment voyage, regular investor awareness program, big format Nivesh Mahakumbh, and big 15 ideas for B15 market, and focused drive around SIP with the 2 dedicated days for subscribing to the SIPs. And such an important plan, I am also wearing the badge, such an important plan with a goal-based SIP now, among many others. We stepped up our focus on expanding our market reach and build more retail investors base, particularly from the emerging market. So let me now quickly talk about the theme for today's conference. It is of course a known fact that Indian economy is at an inflection point. Every year of course is an inflection point, and we have to keep debating about that, and then keep looking forward. The economy is continuously driven by growth, which is of course widely spoken about infrastructure and consumption segment of our economy. While we as a country may not have too many reforms to be carried out or announced, it looks like this year is going to be centered around fine-tuning of the earlier various policies the government has rolled out and step up the focus on execution. And some of the expectations of the markets and each one of us sitting in the room are around implementation of GST, doubling of income for farmers from the agriculture sector, and impact of low-cost housing on our economy, as to how each of these initiatives will change the landscape of our vast country. In my view, I'm very confident that these powerful themes will drive the next round of growth of Indian economy. And today's conference will give more insights around these themes, and our list of speakers have been chosen to give clarity on these high growth areas. I must also take this opportunity to thank ET Now, who are our media partner, and my special thanks to Nikunj Dalmia, who took a lot of care in framing the flow of conference. I would like to end by saying we remain humble and stay committed to build our business with the wonderful partners like you, and we remain focused to have the events like today, year after year, and continue this for many number of years. And hope you enjoy the day and enjoy the event. Thank you.
That we have a very special message for you. That's right, we have a message from all the way from New Delhi. Mr. Piyush Goyal, the Minister of State with independent charge for power, coal, new and renewable energy and mines, shares his thoughts on financial inclusion and a special message for all of us here, the participants of Voyage Navigate 2017. Let's listen in.
I'm delighted that you have taken an initiative to promote financial inclusion. The country is going through a transformational phase when a serious effort is being made to include those millions of people who remained outside the formal economy, outside the banking sector, despite nearly 50 years of bank nationalization. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been focusing on reaching out to every section of society, getting them into the national mainstream, and through his various initiatives to transform the economy, using our efforts to reform, translating into transforming the future of India into a new India. And financial inclusion is certainly the backbone of many of these initiatives. In fact, as we move towards celebrating 75 years of India's independence in 2022, I believe this path of reforming to transform, to create a new India, to bring the unorganized sector into the formal national economic mainstream is what this country needs. It's the leadership that Prime Minister Modi gives, his vision plus his actions combined, which I think will equal to transforming India. Often transformation is a lot about unlearning rather than learning.
I'd now like to invite up on stage our next speaker, an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad and St. Stephen's College, Delhi. He has over 29 years of rich experience in financial services spanning across organizations like ICICI, ITC, Prudential PLC and the Aditya Birla Group. He's experienced in setting and scaling up multiple businesses in India and across Asia and has led India's largest private sector mutual fund. He's led Asia's second largest fund manager with an AUM of $70 billion and now leads one of India's largest financial conglomerates. A regular speaker at various forums, a writer, music lover and sports enthusiast, please welcome the Chief Executive Financial Services at the Aditya Birla Group, Mr. Ajay Srinivasan.
A voyage is defined as a long journey, an expedition, a quest, in many ways an adventure. So we are really delighted to welcome all of you as fellow passengers on this journey to help make every Indian make their money work as hard as they do. This event is actually meant to be like a lighthouse that will show you where the rocks you should avoid are and which direction you should steer your ship. Lao Tzu, the famous Chinese philosopher, once said, "A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step." And as we take the first step together this year, I want you to dream big. For as my favorite author, Paulo Coelho, said, it's the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life truly interesting. There are three global themes I want to speak about today. The first is just this enormous growth of global liquidity, especially after the global financial crisis. I think it's fair to say that the world has never before seen the amount of liquidity that we are currently seeing across the world. The second theme I would like to touch upon today is the massive impact of technology, especially on a number of businesses that all of us are familiar with. Many industries as we knew them, music, search, shopping, travel, are already completely altered by technology. But the kind of work going on in areas like robotics, like artificial intelligence, in healthcare, in 3D printing, in the Internet of Things, I think means we should expect really significant more disruption in the years to come. I believe machines will replace many jobs that exist today. And in some cases, of course, machines will make man even more efficient. The third theme I'd like to talk about today is the rise of India in the world, and something that makes me personally very proud. It wasn't too long ago that India was placed in the Fragile Five, along with countries like Brazil, like Turkey, like South Africa and Indonesia. But since then, I think we've come a very, very long way to establish ourselves as a beacon of macroeconomic stability in what is an otherwise uncertain world. Be it our stellar GDP growth, the improvement in our current account deficit, the secular decline in inflation that we've seen, or the consolidation of our fiscal deficit, I think it's fair to say we've become an oasis of stable growth in what is a very uncertain world economy. With a strong government at the center, I think we are poised to assume our rightful place amongst the really large global economies across the world. I want to talk about the mutual fund industry in India. Next year will be 25 years since this industry opened up to the private sector, and I've been fortunate to actually have been a part of this industry from the time that happened. This industry I have seen has come a really long way in the last 25 years. It has grown at an annual growth rate of about 17% per annum between 1997, when the entire industry's AUM was about 85,000 crores, to over 17 lakh crores in March 2017. The mutual fund industry has also delivered outstanding returns over the last 25 years, with debt and equity funds beating almost every comparable form of investment. In fact, if you take the 5-year, 15-year, and 20-year return of all assets, I believe equity funds will be the best performing asset class. Having talked about all the wonderful things about the industry, let me highlight 2 areas that I think there is still work to be done by this industry. This industry still has work to do, in my view, in terms of growing distribution. We still have ARN holders who only number about 115,000 in what is a very large country, and a country that needs distribution across the length and breadth of it. The second thing I think we need to do is grow the number of customers, because both in T15 and B15 cities, there is a very, very large number of customers who still don't participate in this industry. 1 in every 2 households in the US owns a mutual fund. And I think we have a long, long way to go to be able to get there. I do hope that you will continue to prosper and grow as we together help more and more Indians make their dreams come true through managing their money better. Thank you very much.
It's a very special session that we've got lined up for you. The beauty of this is, yes, Mr. Kant is, unfortunately, he couldn't fly down here to Mumbai, but he's joining us from New Delhi, and he's going to be speaking about the Indian economy and policy, the way forward, as well as, of course, giving us his message for our event this today.
Financial inclusion over the short and medium term is a key commitment of the Government of India. We've had the PM Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, in which you could get a premium for life insurance for rupees 330. We had the PM Suraksha Bima Yojana, in which you could get accident insurance for rupees 12. And we have the PM Atal Pension Yojana as social security for unorganized sector workers, and the Mudra Yojana for credit access to entrepreneurs. We also have the Startup India and the Stand Up India scheme, and we have been able to provide credit access, capital access, and training for innovative startups. The country has also issued licenses to new payment banks, small banks, and we've had new payment technologies developed for financial inclusion. The Aadhaar-enabled payment system, the USSD, the Unified Payment Interface, the UPI, which is a revolutionary movement forward, and the BHIM, which is the Bharat Interface for Money. The government is aiming to contain its fiscal deficit at 3.2% in the fiscal year 2018. The IMF still considers India as one of the brightest spots in global growth. Now, SEBI has carried out vast number of programs for investor education. We also have the simplified DMAT account opening forms and KYC norms by SEBI. And today you can open an account on the basis of your thumb through the POS machine. In India, it is only 5%. Household savings as a percentage of GDP is at 28% for India. And this is amongst the highest in the world. The government has also supported implementing tax benefits to equity investment scheme. The equity-linked savings scheme to drive retail investors' participation. Thanks to the digital revolution, the process of investing in equity today has become extremely simple, be it through web portal or mobile app. For employment opportunities in India, we have taken several steps by government. Textile package to increase modernization and skill development in textile sector. new initiatives in tourism sector, real estate investment trusts and infrastructure investment trusts to create more sustainable capital for real estate and infrastructure creation, leading to more jobs in the sector. And skill development. Ministry of Skill Development has led several initiatives to train youth for specific industries through schemes such as PM Kaushal Vikas Yojana. The government's Make in India initiative and its role in a 9 to 10% GDP growth scenario is important. All these measures put together will lead to great amount of financial inclusion in this country.
Moving on now, we all know how important agriculture is to the Indian economy. And so for our next session, we'll be hearing from the Infosys Chair Professor for Agriculture at the Indian Council for Research on International Economic Relations. He was the director at the International Food Policy Research Institute for more than 10 years between 2001 and 2011. He's been deeply involved in policy advice in India for many years and was conferred with the Padma Shri in 2015. Please welcome Padma Shri Dr. Ashok Gulati.
PM in one of the Kisan rallies in UP in February 2016 said, "This is my dream to double farmers' income by 2022 when India celebrates 75 years of independence." Nobody knew. It came just as a, from the sky something. And then when the budget was presented in 16-17 budget, the finance minister said, "We have an intention to double farmers' income in 5 years." So we were wondering whether it is the real income they are talking or they are talking about the nominal income. And most of us thought it's a nominal income. But after a year, a committee was set up. They have come up with some discussion, and last month they had a meeting, and they said, "No, we are not talking about nominal income, we are talking about real incomes of farmers." And that's going to be a challenge. If you are going to double real income of the farmers in 5 years, the rate of growth that is needed is 14% per annum. That's the minimum rate that would be needed. Can India do it? That's a big challenge. So we looked back 10 years and we found it's very interesting. You look at Madhya Pradesh. This is the real growth in agriculture, 9.67%. And last 5 years, in fact, their growth is almost 14.5% in agriculture. This is never heard in the annals of Indian history of agriculture. They have done it. This is another Punjab in the making. Many people are saying they are goofing up or, inflating their figures, this or that. But we looked at the tractor sales, which is the private sector. And you look at 2008-09, there were 22,000 tractors being sold in Madhya Pradesh. You look at 14-15, 87,000 tractors being sold. 4 times literally jump. So there is something dramatic happening. But it can happen in 1 state, 2 states. Can we do that at all India level? That's the question, and that's the biggest challenge. What do we need to get it right? If we want to do it, even make 60% of that dream or 70% of that dream in reality, what is it that we need to do? I think 4 things, 4 I's I call it. Get the incentive structures right, get the investments moving, get the institutions in place, and innovate, innovate, innovate. That's the way things will happen.
Thank you, Dr. Gulati, for that. May I request you to just stay on a little while longer, and I'd also like to invite Maithili Bhusnurmat, who's the consulting editor with ET Now, for a short chat with Dr. Gulati.
You spoke, Ashok, about agriculture doing well, etc., etc. But do you ever think that the farm sector would really be able to invest in something like a mutual fund, because at the end of the day, however safe mutual funds are relative to investing in individual stocks, let's accept it that the market is a risky animal. So today's farmer with that relatively low level of income, even if you do double his income, which is a big if, after first eating and filling his stomach, will he first look to bank deposits? When will he start looking at mutual funds? Or is this an insight into which companies mutual funds should look into?
The spectrum of farmers from Punjab, some high value agriculture, you look at, easily you can create from 1 acre, 1 lakh rupees. You look at grapes farmers, but then there are subsistence farmers. So you have to differentiate those which are subsistence farmers, those which are ready on the commercial thing, and those who are already highly commercialized. They are doing on futures, they are doing on all sorts of. So, because this is a large mass and you cannot just put them in one category. You have to differentiate, and that's where all the potential of business is.
Another thing that has really dogged Indian agriculture so far is the fact that we're so dependent on monsoons. Every year when you have a good monsoon, your agriculture GDP grows at about 4%. Anytime the monsoon fails, it becomes 1 or even negative. So what can we do? Is it the answer in irrigation? Is it in better pricing of water?
Have you heard that when there is a drought, Punjab production goes down? Not at all. It's 100% irrigated. They draw more water from ground, which is a different thing. But they don't suffer the way. What is the difference? Maharashtra has 19% irrigation. Punjab has 100% irrigation. Marathwada, you have 4% of cropped area in Maharashtra is under sugarcane, which is 100% irrigated. But cotton, only 3% area is irrigated. So when it doesn't rain, they commit suicides. And then you blame BT cotton. Gujarat farmers who have 56, 57% of cotton under irrigation, they are the biggest gainers of cotton revolution. And that cotton revolution in Gujarat actually brought Mr. Modi 3 times as chief minister, because the farmers, the large constituency, gained. It's good politics because the largest number of people will gain, and it is good economics because poverty alleviation in this country cannot happen if you concentrate only on IT at the top. You and me are already out of poverty.
But anyway, the heartening thing that I take away from what you say is that it's not going to be a long term. It's going to be a medium term, definitely. And that's certainly very, very heartening. And what I found you say again and again in your talk, in fact, we'll close with this really, is that you kept saying, that there is no champion for agriculture. And that reminded me of that very famous song, I think, which we had on one of the football World Cups, that we are the champions. So I think that really is a message that I think every country has to take with us after this particularly, that if there is no champion for agriculture, we have to become the champions.
You start raising voice
so
in
with that,
ET
thank
now
you very
on
much,
agriculture.
and thank you for all of us.
See, Birla is taking agriculture.
And many thanks to all of you for joining us in this.
That's all on this episode, but do tune in next time for more highlights of the 4th edition of Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund presents Voyage Navigate 2017, powered by ET Now.